I now call Senator John Kelly.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, can I share my time with Senator John Whelan, 4 and 4?
Great. 4 and 4.
Thank you. I want to welcome the Minister here and on this issue, and just to say that I'm not going to repeat everything that has already been said, because I think that the facts of where we are at and how we got here have been well presented by Senator Coughlin. Turf cutting is an age-old tradition, which is why plans to ban turf cutting has proven so contentious. All we hear is my father and his father before him cut turf, and that is, you know, it's being repeated everywhere we go. Now, I am well aware that 53 raised bogs have been nominated between 1997 and 2002, and in May 2010, the then government, Fianna Fáil and the Greens, announced that turf cutting on these bogs was over. At the time, the Minister for Foreign Affairs was also told that we could be facing fines of 25,000 a day. I think the big pity with all of this is that at that time, and it's not your fault, Minister, at that time, that's when the Peatlands Council, chaired independently, should have been set up, so that we would have had time on our hands to resolve all of these issues. And unfortunately, all of these issues just kicked off in 2011 once the announcement was made. And I think Senator Daly actually did say that as well. And your government was partly to blame for that they didn't deal with it at the time as well. You know. So now we're trying to play catch-up with 2 years into it, and we're slowly and gradually trying to resolve the outstanding issues. Another argument I would have, Minister, is that turf cutting was proposed at a time when this country was in recession, and I think that maybe an argument should have been made to the EU at the time, you know, that fuel costs were soaring in this country, everything was going up, and there was people in the margins that just needed to cut turf, you know. With regard to the compensation package, I believe that it has a huge take-up on it. At times it has been slow being paid out, and at times there has been issues with title that I can understand isn't something that can be sorted overnight. But I would urge you to deal with these issues and get resolution to them, particularly the €500 once-off payment, so that people are finally signed up to this deal, and more people, I do believe, are willing to come on board. I think a total of 3,690 payments and 264 deliveries of turf have already taken place, and as Senator Coughlin says, over 6 million has been paid out to date. In relation to the raised bogs management plan, your department is continuing to develop National Raised Bogs SAC Management Plan, as called for by the unanimous vote of the All-Ireland and agreed with the European Commission, to underpin the long-term approach to restoration and management of each of the SACs. This approach may unlock some limited flexibility that is available under the Habitats Directive to find solutions for the most difficult cases where relocation options may be limited or non-existent. Now, I think, Minister, that is crucial to resolution of the problems that we're encountering at the moment. And my question to you is, what flexibility are we talking about there? And is part of that flexibility, is it going to consider de-designation of certain bogs to allow turf cutting to take place? I am not condoning the breaking of law, Minister. At no stage do I agree with the illegal turf cutting. And I do, on the other hand, have the greatest sympathy for a lot of the contractors. And I did say this to you before in the AV row. And I think to resolve this problem, not alone have you to look at the turf cutters, but you also have to look at the contractors and involve them in this and find a way, because they've invested hundreds of thousands in their machinery. And overnight then they were told, you're gone. So I think you should still look at that. And there's just one funny story I would conclude with. The human side to all of this. I met a lady in the supermarket one day, and she said, would you ever come out to the house and help Daddy fill out the compensation form? So I called out anyway. Daddy was sitting in the corner. His button of his shirt was open, and don't think his trousers was tied on too well. And the wife was going around sweeping, and she was making tea, and she was saying, you're too old to be cutting turf. Give it up now and fill this form out. And will you close your button, and don't spill the tea on the thing? And he turned around to me and he said, you know something? He says, it's great to get out of the house. So I don't think 1,500 a year is enough compensation for that poor man.
Thank you, Senator.